With with her passing, did she pass of something that was of a medical misdiagnosis?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I feel like she went to the doctor and she wasn't feeling well. She couldn't figure this out. Whatever this was, I don't know if it was a pain somewhere or I don't know why she's showing me like my left breast. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if it had to do with her breast tissue and if she felt it or something. And then she went to the doctor and they were like, no, everything came back fine, totally fine. And there was like a 6 month to a year span of dealing with this. And then she went back and it was like they diagnosed her with, I don't know if this is cancer, and it was like terminal. And it was like, right, it was like bad, big and bad right at that time. Is that how that happened?
Yes.
Okay. So, hi, Casey. Welcome to my show, Spiritual Connections by Joelle.
Hello.
Okay. So, uh, usually I ask people if they've been to a medium before.
I have not. This is my first time.
Okay, cool. So, I'm like, well, I don't even know how to answer that because normally I'm like, every medium works different. And, but I guess you don't have any expectations. But really, it's, it's just a journey for you to relax, enjoy, get messages from loved ones, people who've passed, get guidance of where you might need it. Do not feel like you stopping me and asking questions or telling me does not interrupt me whatsoever. Please interrupt me. It does not bother me. What I ask though is in the beginning, I'm just going to start pulling stuff and you'll see as the reading goes along is that sometimes it's slow to start and then it's like a snowball effect. Like they'll get busier and chattier and things like that with messages because a
Mhm.
lot of times they'll send me things that I'm like, what does this even mean?
Oh,
And it's significant for you somehow of how you interpret it. So, uh we'll just see what comes through for you today. I'm going to close my eyes. That's why I like video too, is when you can see when I'm working, when my eyes close and I'm just kind of tuning in, listening to spirit. Okay?
okay.
Okay. Okay, so right away there's two souls stepping forward. These
Mm-hmm.
feel like a set of grandparents. On maternal, on mom's side. Are your mom's side grandparents passed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, and they come towards me walking. So whenever they do that and they're holding hands, making me feel like they definitely were married in life and lived together this beautiful life here on earth and that they're together at peace, in heaven with God. And when they show me walking is their sign for me that any ailments, anything that they might have had in life is completely gone. All those burdens, any physical disabilities, anything like that, they did not carry with them to the other side.
Okay.
Because grandfather had some kind of something with his knee. I want to say his left knee. Like he really had trouble with like his knee hip joint area. I don't know if this caused him to walk with a limp or if he had a cane at one point in time, but I feel like there's something significant with pain in his knee and his hip area.
That would be more on my dad's side.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. And
Yep.
it, I did feel something with dad, but I want to say I'm still connecting with the maternal. And I try to ask them to one show me at a time, but sometimes they will pop in all at once and they feel like the same energy. So
Okay.
I'm just going to continue going and we'll pop into dad's side too. But let me see because I want to say they showed me mom's side. So let
Okay.
me just double check. The mom's mom, grandmother, this feels like. I don't know if she was big on baking pies or if this is that she was hosting Thanksgiving, but she's showing me putting pies in the oven and then having this crumble topping on it. So I don't know if it's a recipe that you recall or a cinnamon crumble topping. I don't know if this is an apple pie and then she's got the if she's into baking or if this is a particular thing that she was doing.
So
Um,
my mom would know more on that. She had passed away before I was born.
okay, okay. Um, she was showing me this small kitchen. So with her and the baking in the small this very small space. So I don't know if the whole house was small or if it was just this little wing that the kitchen was kind of like off on its own in a small space. So just have that for mom to reference.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely.
All right, so I was asking her, what validation, like what can they confirm of things that you might have going on recently? And I don't know, I still feel like you're with the boyfriend, but is boyfriend now like fiance or have you been talking about an engagement? Is there seriousness in the relationship that it's shifting into? Or are there hopes for a
Hopes for, yes.
okay, okay. Now this feels like dad's dad popped in and just said, he better shit or get off the pot kind of thing. So I don't know if that would be dad's dad personality that he popped in because I felt this pull to this side. I
Mhm.
had shown spirit. I'm still working on some of my signs and how they show me. So I asked them for anything maternal to be on my left side and anything paternal. So would that sound like dad's dad of being like that big personality?
Potentially, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Does that sound like mom's dad too? Or like similar in personalities or
I could see you more saying that, yeah.
okay. Okay. I could have sworn it felt like dad's side, but totally fine. Like I said, they run the show here and I'm just happy to go along for the ride. Uh yeah, I feel the pull of you wanting guidance of where you're going in life because I feel like you want to settle down, you want to start having a family, and it makes me feel like you have this biological clock where you're like, okay, my biological clock is ticking. I feel this disconnect between you and the boyfriend. I'm trying to ask if it's gonna happen someday, if it's ready. And I feel like he's not in as much of a rush. He has no timeline where you're like, okay, well, we got to figure this out because I'm either, like I love you and I want to be with you, but if this isn't going anywhere, I need to know.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's the rush? He almost has this younger mentality of thinking, he's like 18 or, still in not party mode, but just not in a serious mode of, lifestyle and choices and things like that. I think he wants to still have that flexibility of being able to travel and be able to do things that you want to do because it definitely when you have a family, that's a serious decision. So if he's not going to take it serious, then it might not be the avenue for you. But I see there being a shift between 6 months to a year. So the shift is either you guys are gonna potentially go and start the engagement process and have it go full force, or
Hmm.
it's gonna be a cut and run kind of situation. But I see that in a 6 month to a year timeline of this specific spot in your life of where you're gonna choose to stay or go kind of thing.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, that was so delayed. My brain is half like listening to spirit. I have to reference that I'm seeing over your window, which is really beautiful because I feel like that's spirit doing something interesting. But you have this like glow over your window. Do you see that right now? In the Is that
Yeah.
always there?
I don't know if it's the lighting, but usually I have to shut it. So like my workstation's right here. You just
Yeah.
can't see it to the side. Usually I have to shut it because it glares onto my screen. But
Okay.
there's very cloudy today.
Yeah. Typical Cape Cod.
Yeah, it's wintry.
Oh my gosh, that's when I went into like my seasonal depression on Cape Cod.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. They want to talk about the heritage for some reason. Now I'm getting like a Portuguese um tie with the Portuguese deli up in like P-Town and the bread, and that's I don't know why they showed me that. So I don't know if you have do you have Portuguese?
It's very minor. It's 1%, but I did grow up in Provincetown, which is well, was a very Portuguese community. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
they do still celebrate the heritage, but it is very expensive at this point for us to live there. So a lot of us have
Yeah.
migrated up the Cape.
Perfect. But that's exactly what they're showing me is that the heritage and I knew this sense of like Provincetown and the Portuguese bakery and things like that that they were being very specific in showing me validation of that was your heritage, like that's where you grew up and now you've trickled a little bit south but still on the Cape, totally fine, they're not upset in any way. It's just them to validate that they are here, they are connecting, they're here for you. They want to support you and love you and show you that you are, divinely guided and also guided by them through life. What would the news article have to do with it? Because I'm like, they show me something and then it could be significant tie to something else. So what was the news article about?
A car accident.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
The car accident was having to do with somebody was in it by themselves and it caused their passing.
It caused someone else's passing. There was two passing.
Yep, but it was one person in the vehicle.
Yes, in the truck. Yes.
Yeah, so the driver was the person in the vehicle, but this is not connected to the grandparents.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Because that popped in that green pickup truck and I thought it was a classic, like a vehicle that um they took care of, that maybe they took out in shows. I'm not sure. Does this have to do with boyfriend's family?
No.
Okay. Because it feels like a cousin or a distant relative. So that's why I was asking if it was somebody else on his side. Is that the connection between,
It'd be more linked with me.
yeah, but is it a cousin or a friend? Like,
It would be more of a biological situation.
okay.
Hmm.
Throw me for a loop here because I asked you if there was immediate family besides the grandparents.
So there is immediate. So it's
Okay, there's somebody else. Okay, that's okay. I wasn't sure. Is this like a young male who maybe has blonde hair, blonde short hair, and he's a little tanner, like he tans well?
I don't know about the tanning, but the blonde
Okay.
and
And a
younger male.
male, correct? I don't know why the number 19 is coming up when they around 19 years old.
Close, 21.
Okay. They're saying something like young, dumb, and stupid is the statement that I'm getting. So I don't know if that's their actions were, not in the right mind of causing the accident. Was this a drinking and driving situation?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So He's making me feel like, do you mind just telling me the connection? I'm not sure. Like, I just keep feeling like cousin or a close friend. So,
Um, he would have been my father.
okay. Okay. But you didn't know your father growing up.
No,
This is passing. Okay. Were you around 1 years old?
I was not born yet.
Oh, okay.
My mother was pregnant.
He's making me feel like if he had known that that day and night would have led to his passing, he would have done things a hell of a lot differently.
Hmm.
Did did two pass and two live?
Yes,
Would that be both drivers or was it the two set in the front of the car? Was it your dad and the passenger seat person?
correct.
Okay. Your dad's making me feel like you just need to hear today that he considered you and you were his daughter from the beginning. Like he takes full responsibility for how he chose to live his life. That young, dumb, and stupid. Remember, I got the young, dumb, and stupid. And so I misconstrued that and understood that as him owning up and having the responsibility for causing the accident. But that's not it. Now he's showing me and you explaining to me that him having that other relationship while his wife, he was married to her while you were pregnant, while you
Uh,
were in the womb. He was
no,
married to mom.
no.
Okay. So him having that connection with mom and then having something else on, that's where he wanted to own up and say the young, dumb, and stupid. Like
Hmm.
that was not he would he wants to keep saying of if he was to do it again, he would have done everything a lot differently. He would have been there for your mom. He would have been a lot more present. He's feeling very absent-minded. So that's why I'm having such trouble connecting with him. He's like kind of not that he's not there mentally. It's just that he seems that young, dumb, and stupid. Like too busy to do anything, to concentrate on family life, on ties. Just feels like he wanted to be the playboy and going around and having fun and still living that young lifestyle.
Have you picked up on anyone that would have passed away in my early 30s? She was um, a really great friend of mine.
Okay. I can, what I can do is sometimes I ask for them and I just need a first name.
Okay, Allie.
Okay, if this is her, did she have freckles and like really like her lips are just naturally a little bit like pinker than others? Like there it just seems like this natural like you're almost like jealous of how her lips are always like ready to go. Like that sounds so specific, but she's having this like reference to her natural tone color on her lips.
She
Have you ever
definitely
had what?
definitely has freckles.
Okay, but why is she showing me, or is she obsessed with chapstick or something? But I could have sworn that she's showing me her natural skin tone on her lips.
I'm trying to think.
Okay.
Um,
Listen, if it's not significant to you, don't,
uh,
we'll keep going with her.
yeah,
Um, she's got like, I don't know why she's having like a 90s reference, but she's got like those headphones over her with a CD Walkman. Did you know her to be like, doing dance or anything after school activities? Because she definitely feels like she's all about music and dance, but I thought it was like dance class.
Not necessarily a dance class. It was more like she did like to dance.
Okay. Were you guys really close? What was this a high school tie? And then you were like really close in high school, and then you kind of drifted apart in your early 20s, and then she passed somewhere around the 20s. I don't know, I'm feeling like 23.
So we went to college together, and that's how I met her. And then she passed when she was 29.
29. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, right? Yeah, she died when she was 29. She would have been, yeah, she would have been 30 if
Okay.
she had made the whole year.
All right. Um, because I felt the separation from you for a while. So was it that you were in college together and then you split off, you kind of did your own thing, but you still communicated, but obviously it was a lot less. And I almost feel like either you guys were roommates or she was like in the next room down from you in the space that you stayed. Is that correct? Is that how you ended up connecting of that you spent?
So yeah, our senior year, she was the next room next to me. We
Okay.
had a girl suite.
Okay.
Um, but even after college, we always still hung out after college. She was a
Okay.
year, she still had to finish. But we all still hung out after the fact.
Were you sorority sisters or was she in a sorority? I saw the was Greek lettering like the triangle.
We made one up. It wasn't real. I forget what it's called. I would have to text
But did
someone.
she have the idea of it? I don't know why I felt the more pull towards her with it than you.
I think we did too
You
when we
both were like totally fine. You're like, yeah, let's go.
yeah, we inducted her because she was so quiet.
That's cute. Oh my gosh, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Um, hmm. with with her passing, did she pass of something that was of a medical misdiagnosis?
hmm
Okay. So I feel like she went to the doctor and she wasn't feeling well. She couldn't figure this out. Whatever this was, I don't know if it was a pain somewhere or I don't know why she's showing me like my left breast. So I don't
hmm
know if it had to do with her breast tissue and if she felt it or something. And then she went to the doctor and they were like, no, everything came back fine, totally fine. And there was like a 6 month to a year span of dealing with this. And then she went back and it was like they diagnosed her with, I don't know if this is cancer, and it was like terminal. And it was like, right, it was like bad, big and bad right at that time. Is that how that happened?
Yes.
Okay. Um, she makes me feel like she has either two sister siblings or that you're okay. Because I just felt a lot of girls around her, like a lot of siblings, but then I also felt a lot of like girlfriends. Like she's very like the girly girl and
hmm
has like a lot of girlfriends, not like very tomboy. Um, Definitely like you were explaining, she seems very meek, very mild, very calm and collected. So I think when it came to this medical issue is she makes me feel like she doesn't ever want to burden anybody. So where she felt comfortable, she had to feel comfortable in her own skin to speak up about her medical issues, and I think she really subdued it for the doctors and didn't say, "No, this is like I think this is a serious issue." When she kind of thought of it, but she was like, "Well, the doctors are telling me I'm fine, so I'm fine." So
hmm
that seems like her mentality of how she went through this process. and she wants to take full responsibility for her not taking the initiative and putting her foot down with these doctors. Does that all make sense?
Yes, it does
Okay.
actually.
Okay. So she, anytime spirit shows me this too, even though her passing is so tragic and even though there was some kind of warning, it was still so fast and so sudden that she's making me feel like when your soul contract is up, like it's your time. So I feel like either if that wasn't her way of passing, there would have been something else. So anybody around her of who is saying I should have been there, I could have said something to her to help her to get more medical help. I should have taken her to the doctor, whatever this is. She doesn't want anybody to hold these burdens and to take that upon themselves because she is taking full responsibility for her passing. Okay. Um, she's very sweet. Was she a bookworm?
A little bit, yeah.
Like her nose in a book, like enjoying a good book. Like she makes me feel like she'd love the Harry Potter series and be like a Harry Potter nerd.
I can't remember.
But was Harry Potter even out? I don't know where she's at timeline wise, but I was like, oh wait, was Harry Potter out? But I don't know.
I don't remember.
Me neither.
So many books.
I always thank Spirit for coming forward for you today, for all the messages that you needed and guidance through your life. And they're just here. And anybody who showed up today is just showering you with love, support. They're showing me they'll throw a bunch of like red hearts at me, and that's them just like showering you with love. And that's how they want you to live your life is to just enjoy it and don't take things too seriously. And when you're ready to make that transition within that 6 month to a year, if it's, we're getting married or I'm moving on, they're supporting you and they're with you 100,010%, so just know that you are always guided, you're never alone, and they're always with you. um that's weird. I felt something come through for mom. um okay, please know and understand that the messages that you got from dad today are also for your mom. The same connection of him apologizing and saying, of that he would have done things differently. That's for her as well. Okay.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like a bifold um statement there. Okay. He wanted her to know that.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to thank Spirit for coming, and I always thank you for sitting and letting me share my gift with you today.
No, but I'm open-minded. Um, I feel like you've hit on some things that I've been struggling with within this current year, even though it's only February. Short amount of time. Um, where there's certain things that you hit upon that are dead on. Um, especially with the R&R, where I feel like I need a timeout just to relax, and I don't feel like I get that. And I have been thinking of going somewhere tropical or planning something tropical, which I found interesting. The other piece is about my relationship of there is the marriage talk, things had been presented to me within, we've been together almost 8 years now, and we're at a disconnect, I feel like, on that. And that, there was never a disconnect, but now there is. And those are some of the conversations that we do need to have. So that was pretty on point. Um, it's very interesting. And this banana peanut butter sandwich thing, my gut is telling me it's someone, I just don't know who. So I need to talk to my mom. I don't know why I keep gravitating to that, but I don't understand it, but I'm gonna find out. I don't know why.
Oh,
I gravitate to something, it means something. So I think just to be open-minded and explore, and try to understand yourself a little bit better or why things are happening in your life. And I think I've had a lot of questions in the last year into, well, since 24 into this year, that it's just really weird coincidences that are happening. And trying to understand those. And, I've had a conversation, her too, Morgan, of just trying to understand certain things that are happening. It's like, is this really a coincidence or is this supposed to be happening? When I tell people certain stories, it's just, their hair and their arms raised, like, is this real? And I'm not crazy. So just always be open-minded. And I'm always about researching, understanding, and I'm very happy that I got to do this with you today. So